Welcome back to another daily reflection within the Daily Vedantic. Today's reflection is on the concept of titiksha. Another way of saying Vedanta is Sanatana Dharma, which can be translated as eternal principles or essential ideals. And the ideal of titiksha is one that I had never come across explicitly like this in the West. And yet I've found it so gratifying, so powerful within my life that I think about this principle, this ideal, as often as maybe I think of any others within Vedanta. Titiksha means cultivating a comfort in discomfort, a pleasure in discomfort. And it can often pertain to our relationships with others. The story that I think about quite often is Joseph, my teacher that I have, Yoga for Your Intellect, the longer form conversational podcast that we link to in the show notes. He and I were chatting the other day, and he was talking about when staying in an apartment in Bombay, the couple and their children, unbeknownst to him, he just had his guest room. It was a beautiful guest room, had an amazing view, shower, full bath. And he was like, man, this is an amazing guest room. It was the master room. And the couple and their children were sleeping on a cot in the laundry room. It was only discovered the next day. And they were ecstatic to be that hospitable. It wasn't just bearing some burden because it's the right thing to do. It was taking pleasure in that discomfort. Think about a community, a society that could take pleasure in the discomfort to serve others, not cultivating a tolerance, but cultivating a comfort, a pleasure in the discomfort. To where I remember another story. He was going a mile down the road, and the person that he asked for directions, the cab driver didn't know, got into the cab with him to show him exactly where it was with the biggest smile. This is a very important part of the story, where he said that the smile was ear to ear at the chance to help. So many of us are on our way to wherever we're going. Our children, our family members, they can be as much of impediments to where we want to go in life as they can be support. Much less on your way to the office or on your way to running errands and a complete stranger asking you for directions. Just asking you for directions can put us out where we just say, you know what, obviously I have GPS on my phone, but sorry, I don't know where that is. And we don't even stop for 30 seconds to help them. But a culture that celebrates the pleasure, cultivating a comfort in discomfort, especially when it comes to the relationships with others, is a culture where someone is smiling ear to ear to jump in the car with you and show you exactly where you're trying to go. This concept of titiksha is one that you can reflect on over and over and over again and find not just, like I said, not a tolerance of discomfort, but find power in it, like a cold plunge, in which the first time you jump into 45-degree water, we have one about 30 feet from here. The first time you do it, and it is the most uncomfortable thing you could possibly think of. And then you recognize the benefits on the other side. This is purely just selfish discomfort. This is not getting into the more profound, unselfish discomfort, but even in the selfish discomfort of things like going to the gym, hitting a cold plunge, cleaning up the kitchen, that act, when you start to recognize and understand the benefits on the other side, how amazing you feel on the other side of 3 minutes and 45 degrees. It goes from unthinkable discomfort to something you crave because of this observation, this witness of the totality of the experience. And when it comes to others, when it comes to even yourself, operating in a clean apartment, a clean house, doing the dishes before you're ever asked by your spouse, your significant other, that joy resonates when others perceive it. You get to refill your cup from the joy, the surprise, the unexpected gratification and impression you leave on another that they carry throughout the rest of their day, into their workplace, into their communities, within their home, all because you had made a conscious effort to cultivate a pleasure, a comfort in discomfort. Not only are you less agitated, but you've just set in motion a community, a household that is that much less agitated as well. You benefit yourself and you benefit the world by cultivating a comfort, even a pleasure in discomfort. That's today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. Thanks for listening to the Daily Vedantic. This reflection is part of a free repeating 2-year course in Advaita Vedanta. Rooted in the timeless wisdom of the Upanishads, arguably the oldest philosophical texts on earth, you can begin with episode 1, which gives the 15-minute overview of the whole philosophy of Vedanta, or you can join the journey with any episode at any point. But the critical aspect of this course, of understanding and mastering anything, is to study and reflect, even for 10 to 15 minutes on the timeless each day, preferably at the start of your day. As is said in this philosophy, reflection is 100,000 times as powerful as listening. So listen, journal, sit with, discuss these concepts, or ask questions at thedailyvedantic.com with our AI-powered chatbot, informed by about 700 episodes here, as regularly as one can, if you want to see clarity and peace almost effortlessly unfold in your daily life. And if it doesn't result in a near immediate increase in clarity and peace, then toss aside and feel free to never listen again. One of the things that you might notice is after 7 or 8 days in a row, this doesn't feel like a discipline. This feels like a visit with a best friend to dive into the timeless with daily reflection. Within a few days, it becomes one of your favorite parts of the day. You can also find out more, including news about in-person events in Los Angeles and beyond, at the Daily Vedantic on Instagram, or through our weekly newsletter at thedailyvedantic.com. Additionally, check out the links in our show notes for more resources like the books that are mentioned most frequently in the episodes, including Vedanta Treatise, perhaps the simplest and most straightforward read on this philosophy I've ever come across. Until next time, and from the entire team that works on the Daily Vedantic project, thanks for listening.